Jazz from the Soul Leadership Method. I hope you're doing well. I hope that you're enjoying this beautiful weather. And if you're living in Canada, and I think in the US as well, it was a long weekend. So I hope you had a really great long weekend. I don't know about you, but I spent the long weekend in my garden, spent all weekend playing in the flowers and also planting in the vegetables. And it just makes me so happy to get all dirty, having dirt all over my face and under the fingernails, and it's just glorious, isn't it, to work in the garden, to watch things grow. So what I am coming to you with today is a little story about a plant in the garden. What I've heard from a lot of people is that there's a lot of anxiety going on right now. There's a lot of um, there's a lot of burnout going out right now, and it's completely normal. It happens, and it happens to us frequently going through cycles. So it's important for you to recognize your cycle as well of where you are in your own growth strategy. But I'll get into a little bit more details on that after. For now, just take a nice deep breath, sit comfortably, and listen to this little story. So it's not scripted, so it's not going to be super pretty story, all right? And I'm not Disney, but just imagine yourself. You might want to close your eyes and just imagine this for a little bit. So I'm coming into my garden, and there is this beautiful tomato plant. And this tomato plant is just loving the sunshine, and it's loving the earth that it's in, and it's looking around and saying, oh, you know what, it's a season to grow. So we're growing now. And so that little tomato plant is just growing and growing, kind of pushing and pushing. So I have to be a big tomato plant. I have to be a big tomato plant. I have to yield like hundreds of beefsteak tomatoes. And it's just like pushing and pushing and pushing herself to be very productive, because she's heard through the grapevine and with the birds going on all around that it's a good thing to be very productive. And just as she's thinking, well, if I want to be a really good tomato plant, I have to be productive. I have to grow as tall as perhaps that tree that's around me right now. Why am I so small to the ground when there's a hickory tree right there and there's a maple tree right there, and they seem to be touching the clouds? Why am I not as big as them? And so the little tomato plant was not feeling very good about herself. So she just pushed herself and pushed herself and pushed herself and tried to grow and grow and grow. And whoo, there was a limb with a new little leaf, and there was another limb with a little leaf, and kept pushing and popping limbs and leaf and limbs and leaf. And then it started to have little flowers and little tomatoes. And the tomato plant was wondering, am I big enough now? Am I big enough now? Am I touching the sky now? Is this what I'm supposed to do? Is this what I'm supposed to be doing? Am I a good little tomato plant? And then the wind came, and the little tomato plant was just so big and so flowery, but it actually toppled over. Why? Because the little tomato plant was spending so much time trying to grow, trying to pretend that she was like someone else that she's not, perhaps pretending that she was a tree wanting to touch the sky. And in the meantime, as she was so busy growing flowers and leaves and stems, the roots did not grow. And so that's why when the wind came over, the tomato plant just toppled to the ground, because there was nothing holding her in place. There was nothing really nourishing her. She couldn't really get enough water. She just always felt like there wasn't enough, not enough water, not enough vitamins, not enough minerals, not enough food in the ground, because she was just sucking everything up, trying to grow, 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 but she wasn't going down and deep. Perhaps the other tomato plant right next to her wasn't as tall, wasn't as flowery, wasn't as productive. But that little tomato plant was just going down deep into the earth, taking her time, season by season, day by day, just growing slowly, having the juiciest. Oh, you know how wonderful it is to bite into a fresh tomato that is sun-kissed in the garden? It's just full of flavor. Whereas sometimes tomatoes that grow too fast, maybe hydroponically, they just taste like water. They don't taste like anything at all. I don't know about you, but I much prefer a tomato that's grown slowly, that has all the wonderful, just like, it tastes so good, right? It's one of my favorite things in the summer. A real garden tomato sandwich with mayonnaise, salt, and pepper. It's like heaven to me, right? But it's those tomatoes that grow slow. So, what I would like for you to think of, because I love to work with allegories and with stories, right? That's how I learn and that's how I like to teach. So, I want to think of yourself as that little tomato plant. And would it be okay for you to slow down, for you to grow strong? Would it be okay for you to stop comparing yourself to everybody else around you and grow at your own rhythm? Would it be okay for you to maybe, instead of having 100 fruits, so if you have a business, instead of having 100 offers, that maybe you have 2, 3 solid offers, but the juiciest, the most delicious, the most flavorful fruits, instead of having the watery ones that nobody really enjoys to eat anyway? Would it be okay for you to slow down? So ask yourself those questions. Ask yourself where you can really slow down to grow strong. Sometimes in our society, we are told that we have to be productive all the time, that we have to be busy. When someone asks you, how are you? Say, oh, I'm so busy. Say, oh, good. That's great. Is it really? Is it really? Is really busyness that much of a virtue? Just ask yourself, like, what do you really want to believe in for yourself? I know that when I was growing my business, and I'm goal oriented, I'm action oriented. So I like to be busy. I like to be doing things. I like to feel productive. So something that I really need to check myself with, because the other side of that is that I constantly go into burnout. I constantly go like that flower and I have those cycles of, grow and fall and grow and fall, and it's exhausting. So I don't want to do that anymore. I remember taking my oracle cards and asking, say, so what's the next thing to do? What's the next thing to do? And I was constantly asking and wondering, what's the next thing for me to do? And the cards and my guidance and the meditations, they always came back, do nothing, rest. I was thinking, well, great guidance, right? I'm supposed to grow a business here and you're telling me to rest. So I was really resisting the guidance that I was receiving. But then I learned that resting is an action, but it's an internal action. It's an action that goes deep, that goes into the soil, like the roots of the tomato plants. You don't see it, but that's when you grow in strength. That's when you grow in resilience. Taking time off is a really good thing. Nurturing yourself is a really good thing. So stop judging yourself for, oh, I'm just so lazy today. Oh, I just feel like being on the couch today. I just feel like going on the patio and having a glass of wine today. Like, oh, I'm just so lazy. And then you might, judge yourself for that. Instead of that, take pleasure in it. Go for a walk. Be resourceful. Nourish yourself with good books, with great conversation, with wonderful food that nourish you body, mind, and soul. Do the things that you love, because that's how you grow strong. It's by taking things more slowly. So that's my invitation for you right now, is to really examine where you're buying into the fact that you need to be productive all the time, that every minute of every day needs to be filled in. Some people work with time blocks, which can be very productive. But if you do like 5 minutes of that, 5 minutes of that, 5 minutes of that, and if you're just so busy all the time and feeling like you're catching your breath all the time, is it really good for your mental health? Is it good for your emotional health? Is it good for your spiritual health? So I'm not giving you an answer here, but I'm asking you, I'm inviting you to journal on that and see what's true for you and what you need to change in your life. And if you need some help, I'm here for you. I do have 2 spots open right now for coaching. This is Soul Leadership Coaching, to help you slow down the mind, because it's not enough to just be on the couch and rest your body. You also need to rest your mind. You also need to rest your emotions. It's like a whole body, mind, spirit thing. You need to slow down. So it's more than just resting your body. That true nurturing, slowing down is something that you can achieve, that I achieve better with in practicing Reiki, because it helps me really ground into source, really grow my roots really deep. Um, and then I'm a better person when I practice that. So it's something that I can certainly teach you. So if you need help, I can help you. There's a 6 month soul leadership program, 2 spots open, as I mentioned. So what you need to do is to reach out to me, send me a message, and let's see if it's a right thing for you, because I'm here to help you grow the right fruit, the fruit that your soul is here to really give to the world, and not anything else. Soul leadership is a custom solution. There's no one size fits all. There's no comparison to anybody else. I'm here to help you be you and help you do you, whatever that is, whether you have a business, whether it's with your family, whether it's being a mom. It's I help you do you, because sometimes we forget. We've compared ourselves so much to everybody around us. We forget who we are. We forget what we love. We forget our passions. So I'm here to help you remember that. So have a great day, and remember to slow down so you can grow strong. Sending you lots of love from my heart to yours. Bye for now.